Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to the daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about QNT, XDC, XRP, and a few other assets as well. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask if you guys are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and turning notifications on to never miss an update. I am uploading daily. I am updating you guys on pretty much everything in regards to the market, especially on some of our favorite assets like HBAR, XRP, XLM, QNT, and so many more. Also, if you guys could please leave a like on this video, it will be greatly appreciated and it does help the channel. So with that being said, let's just jump into the market. Let's talk about some things that are happening. So obviously we are seeing some green across the board. I do want Bitcoin to break over 58.5K. I think that will be a solid point for us to really break over. If we're really looking at Bitcoin in terms of the long-term span and kind of zooming out, I know I don't usually like to look at this on coin market cap. I usually like to look at this in terms of trading view, but I just want to show you guys where we essentially want to be back at, which is about the 58.3K mark that we pretty much made back on the 27th. It's almost like 58.5K. That's essentially the level that we want to be back into. That's the major demand zone, even going back as far as the beginning of October. So I'm waiting for that to actually be validated for us to actually go higher on Bitcoin, which will essentially lead to a lot of the market kind of ranging higher. We are seeing Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, and we are seeing the dominance factors kind of rising on both assets, or I should say decreasing on Bitcoin and rising on Ethereum and most assets in the space in terms of altcoins. And I think that that's fairly bullish for us, especially in terms of the end of the bull run. But we haven't seen Bitcoin make its new all-time high just yet. And I think that we do go higher than 69K. I think that we will breach the 70K plus level. And, from there we could see possibly 100K test it, or maybe our, pretty much conservative ranges, which is the 85 to 95K zone. So I'm waiting for a validation point just yet. We really want to break 75K before we even talk about 100K plus. So we're waiting for that to happen. And until then, we're looking at other altcoins like QNT and stuff. QNT, in terms of the holders tab, has been in accumulation. In terms of the trading volume, it's up 70.66%. We have been seeing a few spikes. We've pretty much been in accumulation for the past 3 months. It's been a massive accumulation as well. And now we're kind of just waiting for the next major move up. And I'm waiting for that patiently. I've been talking to you guys about QNT for a fairly long time, and we've been seeing a lot of updates, especially within the QNT ecosystem, and I'm very excited for that. XDC also up in terms of trading volume, up almost 20% flat on the trading volume aspect. Has been making some moves lately, and I do suspect that we will have some major moves still left in the tank. I honestly expect this to do an XRP sort of run. This bull run, we've had some highs made back in August, but besides that, we've just been in a downward accumulation point since then, and we pretty much look like we have our bottom stage set going back to just a few days ago on the 17th. So it looks like this is primed for the next major move up. I'm going to be watching XDC very closely. I think that XDC is probably one of the most undervalued assets within the space. And of course, with that being said, before we fully jump into this video, definitely check out NCashOfficial.com. I am having a sale right now on the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack for 20% off, currently until Friday only. I will be having a 50% off sale over the weekend though, for Black Friday, so definitely keep a close eye on the website if you guys were looking into that. This does include all of the content on the website, as well as all future content for free that does get released on this website, which I do plan on updating you guys a lot within this website. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about this SEC case with XRP. I've been talking to you guys about it for a fairly long time, and I've been updating you guys alongside the SEC updates and pretty much telling you guys my viewpoints on it. Now, we are seeing ADA and Tron actually get delisted from eToro regarding regulatory concerns. Now, this is fairly interesting because when we talked about the XRP lawsuit initially, it was never about XRP versus the SEC. It was never about, XRP in general. It was honestly about crypto in general. And now we're seeing that come to fruition. We are seeing other altcoins being targeted, and I suspect that there will be more and more of this happening very soon. And honestly, I think that the U.S. is just burying themselves right now, especially considering crypto adoption is growing around the globe right now. We're seeing we're seeing the U.S. pretty much kind of lose the race in terms of digitization of finance, in terms of just crypto adoption alone. So I suspect that this case is not going to last too much longer, but I think that it is funny to say the least that a lot of people thought that this was just XRP being targeted by the SEC, but it's much bigger than that. Now we also see here XRP, the only asset to be attacked by the SEC and still remain in the top 10 Bitwise index. Remember, when clarity does come, buckle up. And I do think that this is the case. I think that once XRP does get clarity, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, first off, think about it, right? Ripple IPO, we talked about that in the past. We talk about XRP being adopted at a massive scale in the US for, ODL services, the line of credit, and so much more. Then, of course, we do see mass relistings. And then, of course, even after that, we still see, XRP being the only asset to get clarity. There's going to be so much bullish news after that. We're going to be seeing ODL adoption happening as well at a rapid pace. And I think XRP is going to be a leading name in the game, especially once clarity does happen. I think that Ripple themselves has perfectly positioned themselves to be the overall fighter of crypto. I think that they are going to be the hero of crypto at the end of the day if they do win this case, which in my mind, I think that they are pretty much going to win. I don't see them losing at all. Now we also see here, this is why these networks are special. XDC, hybrid network, EVM compatible, high performance smart contracts, issued assets, XRP, DAX, rippling, issued currencies, and there's so much more behind XRP as well, why it does make it special. But of course, this is just the main base point here. And of course, we do see QNT over Ledger OS Bridge, API across, networks, and then of course, R3 Corda, permission blockchain DASL bridge, which of course, with Corda essentially kind of, you lead it back to XDC, of course, because XDC for R3 Corda is going to essentially be the settlement asset that of their choice as well. But I think that, yes, Corda is pretty big. And of course, you do see HBAR, CSC, and SRX, and Ethereum. So a lot of things to happen, a lot of things to look at in terms of these networks. They offer especially incredible use cases. And I think that the utility behind these, the value behind a lot of these utility, gems is endless. Of course, we do see here within QNT, talking about QNT and Overledger, of course, we do see here, fast forward to last week, 2022 is going to be the year that QNT train cannot be stopped anymore. Institutions are finally here powered by Overledger network. And of course, we do see SNB has completed testing of a wholesale CBDC with Swiss Exchange SDX and is technically ready to go live. And of course, we do see here, this is the most explosive news I've heard about QNT this year. SDX using QNT Overledger ready to go live, only awaiting policy decision. SIX is only, or one of the only, $16 trillion exchanges in the world. Take a look at SIX stats at glance. QNT gonna mint millionaires for sure. And check this out at glance. Look at how much, look how big this is. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous to say the least. And I've always said, when we're looking at these exchanges, first off, SIX is one of the most incredible exchanges out there in terms of the money value behind it. And if we're looking at QNT, okay, essentially being the policy bridge for them, okay, this is huge. And I've always discussed, when we're talking about Overledger connecting a lot of these networks together, it is the network of networks. 720 institutional investors and banks. That is absolutely massive. This is going to be running 24/7, 52 weeks of the year. Of course, this is all day long. And of course, look at the overall value behind this. I mean, it's absolutely massive. Okay, and we talked about this even in regards to Oracle as well. Oracle is huge. The securities value chain, and here is the value chain here. Pretty big. I mean, listen. $16 trillion is no joke. 160 participants, including the Swiss National Bank, of course. SIX offers securities custody and comprehensive services for the Swiss market and 50 others. This is massive. We've talked about SIX in the past. We've talked about, we've talked about how big QNT could be at scale. I've always said that QNT is essentially the next Bitcoin, and I still believe that. I think that we will be a $100,000 asset very, very soon. We actually see our bridge to cross-ledger blockchain interoperability. This is Oracle. This has come from Oracle.com. And of course, check who else is labeled here. Gilbert Verdian, CEO, Quant, right? Bridge to cross-ledger blockchain interoperability. And of course, they are talking about R3 networks, of course. Listen, what more proof do you really need? Okay, first off, QNT is already working with XRP. They're also working with R3 Corda, which of course we know that the settlement asset on that is XDC. Hyperledger Fabric, of course. They're talking about smart contracts. They're talking about interoperability. Interoperability is one of the, I would say, Interoperability is one of the most overlooked assets or utility cases in this space in terms of these assets, and Quant is the leading name for interoperability. We actually see are designed to deliver universal interoperability between permissioned and permissionless DLTs. Quant solution is aimed at customers that want to be a DLT agnostic, clients that need to connect different DLTs internally within their organizations, which of course could be led back to banks and CBDC adoption as well. Of course, we do see our businesses that need to move digital assets from one DLT to another. Again, CBDCs, removing the limitations associated with digital assets existing to one or on one DLT, organizations that need to orchestrate transactions between different permission DLTs, customer clients that use different DLTs and need those DLTs to interoperate in order to access new markets. The network of networks, understand what you hold. And they are talking about everything, right? Lastly, there's a connector layer for multiple DLTs, including Hyperledger Fabric and Oracle blockchain platform, Ethereum, Hyperledger Basu, R3 Corda, Ripple, and Bitcoin. To add different DLTs, users need specific connectors. And of course, like I said, when we're talking about Overledger, Overledger is absolutely massive, guys. They're talking about tokenization. They're talking about a token taxonomy framework. Again, Overledger is going to be the big key here, especially as we do march forward on in terms of CBDCs. We even see here, right? Some examples include cross-DLT asset ownership swap with cancellation and rollback, dual DLT logging, complex business process orchestrations, which again goes back to issue and payment on a stablecoin or CBDC with settlement confirmation recorded on OBP. Cross-DLT CBDC implementation as well. That is why I always talked about the DLN, the Distributed Ledger Network, because this is going to be the network for all DLTs. This is absolutely crazy. Of course, we do see are probably nothing, right? Going back to Oracle, look at the use cases: banking and financial services, retail, manufacturing and field services, food, agriculture, and CPG, transportation and logistics, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, education and training, government and public services. And of course, check out the scale. $40 billion total GAAP revenue in FY 2021, 430,000 customers in 175 countries, $56 billion in R&D, $80 billion spent on more than 150 acquisitions, 20,000 partners across the globe, 133,000 employees. This is huge for Oracle. I've talked to you guys about this, and this is absolutely massive. Now, also, within Q&T and stuff like that, we also look at XDC. Will soon show us how crazy the crypto world can be. XDC has not gone through a super cycle yet. XDC supply 12 billion versus 45 billion for XRP just in general in circulation, which means XDC is 4 times easier to move the price, which means higher prices in the future than XRP possibly go to the moon, right? And here is XDC essentially leading all of it back to everything else. This is talking about trade finance, which we've talked about trade finance in the past. It's a huge market. And again, when we're talking about all the connections within the XDC ecosystem, it is going to be absolutely massive because we talked about Corda in the past and the Corda ecosystem. It is huge. And we do see here what XDC needs is the development from or found on Solana. Solana is also believed to handle 50k transactions per second. If XDC can hit similar numbers and ease the migration from Ethereum, then I see the price skyrocketing. And they said they could scale up over time. It will be many years until a coin doing 50k transactions per second is needed. 2k transactions per second is good for a long time. And it is the case, right? And in terms of scalability factors, I think that XDC, XRP, even all of the other assets that we talk about on this channel, like all of the DLTs, they are all well beyond the scalability needs that any enterprise or any institution needs currently. We also see here XDC at the table with some big hitters, including the World Bank. Buckle your seatbelts. Yes, I mean, this is huge. I think that XDC is going to be a leading name in the banking scene and in the financial institutional game as well. We do see here, since last week, all I've been doing is researching on trade finance and am led to believe XDC will have the largest pump in history for all the institutions. Of course, they're talking about trade finance. They're also talking about R3 Corda. R3 Corda is the big name here, right? They're talking about R3. Now, this is coming from HSBC, by the way, just so you guys know. This is I'm telling you guys, when we're talking about trade finance should not be overlooked. We actually see here R3's blockchain network Corda to use XDC as a settlement coin. Like I've said, they are the settlement coin. They are going to be the chosen essential coin for this. So it's similar to RippleNet with XRP. And of course, we do see our major blockchain consortia and networks. R3, again, has major names in the game, led back to many of the other connections that we've talked about in the past. We talk about Bank of America, Deutsche Bank. We talk about JP Morgan. There's so many banks within the R3 Corda scene. And I think that when we're talking about XDC, I think a lot of people overlook XDC just because, it's hard to buy. It's not on major markets. Like, when we're talking about the markets here, I don't know why this is taking forever, but you can only get it on a certain few markets. So until this does get major listings, that's why the volume is so low. Just imagine when the volume is similar to XRP's volume, which I think it's like at $3 billion right now. I really wish that this would load so I could tell you guys especially where to get it if you are in certain countries and so. But there we go. Qcoin, Bittrex, Bitfinex. Like I said, it's hard to get this because it's not on major CEX listings or exchanges. And once we do get on those exchanges, XDC is going to blow up in price because when we're talking about what XDC could do and facilitate, it's going to be massive. Like I said, I think that this could pull an XRP run similar to 2017, 2018. And if we do that, I mean, I could see it at around $2 possibly, even higher, potentially. It depends on how much money actually circulates into it. But I do suspect something like this is in store for XDC. I just don't see XDC not at a massive price evaluation, especially with what they are building within their ecosystem, the connections with R3 Corda, and so forth. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.